Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on my channel. First video in a new flat. Still feels weird, I'm not gonna lie, but we'll make it work. I know lots of you guys are waiting for the flat/room/house tour. I've been talking about it for ages and I promise you it's gonna come eventually, but I still need a few more weeks, so please bear with me. Today we're going to do a DIY video, basically what this channel was all about before I left. Let's not talk about that. I basically fell in love with sweater vests last year when I bought my first one in Korea, and ever since then I've been looking around in every charity shop, every car boot sale for some more sweater vests, but I could never really find that one sweater vest I was after. Plus I've been looking at the new Gucci collections recently and I've really liked the fabrics and patterns they used, so this idea formed in my head to make a Gucci inspired sweater vest, and that's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to make a sweater vest without any knitting whatsoever. Boom! Let's get into the video. I'm not going to do that. Never did that. That's weird. Right, for this DIY you're going to need obviously some fabric. I found this one at a car boot sale. I think it was meant for upholstery, but I'm not quite sure. Anyway, I really like the pattern and the texture's got to it, and it was just £1, so it was a bargain. Next up, we're going to need some material for the cuffs around the armholes and the collar. I found this one at the car boot sale as well. I'm not quite sure what to call it. It's kind of a knitted cuff ribbon, if that makes sense. Anyway, it was just £1 as well, and I really like how the pattern goes with the pattern of the fabric, even though they're both not similar at all. To sew it all together, you're obviously going to need some yarn. I bought it, you guessed it, at the car boot sale, and it was, you guessed it, just £1. So yeah, this sweater vest so far cost me only a whopping £3 to make. Woohoo! As I'm literally doing this project as it came to mind and I'm not thinking about anything beforehand, I'm not going to use any patterns for this. I'm just going to use my favourite sweater vest as a reference. If you don't already have a sweater vest at home, that's not a problem. Just use your favourite jumper instead and kind of spare out the sleeves in the next few steps. Right, I'm starting off by laying out my fabric and tracing around my sweater vest with some tailor's chalk. I'm starting right at the bottom of my fabric because it has got an interesting border right there that I want to use in my design, and that way I've got a few seams less to sew. I'm tracing around the sweater vest with 1 finger's width of seam allowance, because units, especially in the English speaking world, are not that consistent. Just use your fingers reference. You're gonna be fine, honestly. As I said, if you don't have got a sweater vest for this step, just use your favourite jumper instead, spare out the sleeves and just trace around the seam from your armpit to your shoulder, and you should get the same shape as I've got here. After I'm done tracing, I'm just cutting everything out. Obviously, a sweater vest needs a front and a back, so we're going to repeat that process and end up with 2 more or less identical pieces. The front piece of our sweater vest still needs a neckline, so I'm copying that from my existing sweater vest using the only trustworthy unit in this universe, my fingers. That's what I'm doing. I'm just roughly measuring out where I want my neckline to be and then cutting it out. Now it's actually time to sew something. I'm taking my 2 pieces right sides together, I'm pinning them up and then sewing them together. I'm straight stitching from the bottom to the armpit and then along the shoulders. You can overlock these babies, but my sewing machine can't do that, so I'm sticking to straight stitch for now, and then I'm cleaning up the seams later. At this point, you may have got a more or less functional sweater vest, but it's not looking that great, and we're still not done. In the next step, I'm taking the knitted cuff ribbon, that's what I decided to call it in this video, and try to make the neck hole and the armholes, that's what I decided to call them in this video, a little bit nicer. I'm placing the ribbon along the neckline, mapping out where I want it to be, and then pinning it in place. I'm making sure that it overlaps itself in one spot, in this case it's the bottom of the V-neck, to kind of hide the edges and make everything look nice and neat. Then I'm again straight stitching along the bottom of the ribbon, sewing the sweater vest and the cuffs together. I'm repeating that same process for the 2 armholes. There, I'm making sure that the cuff overlaps itself in the armpit region. That way, the seam won't be visible whilst wearing the sweater vest. Again, straight stitch everything together and the sweater vest is basically done. But since I didn't overlock the stitches on the inside, the edges look really rough. And I want to tidy it up a little bit and prevent the fabric from fraying. So I'm turning the sweater vest inside out again. And for the seams on the side and on the shoulders, I'm just laying them out flat and zigzag stitching right in the middle all over them. After I'm done, I'm just cutting off the excess fabric and there you go. I basically faked myself an overlock stitch. For the seams on the cuffs, it's kind of the same procedure, but the other way around. Here, I'm cutting off the excess fabric first right at the seam, and then zigzag stitching all over the edge. There you go, a nice looking seam that won't fray. Lastly, I'm just cleaning up a little bit on the inside, just removing any excess thread or excess fabric, just making everything look nice and neat. I've said that way too often in this video. So without further ado, here's what £3 worth of fabric and other materials from the car boot sale and the ambitious idea to sew a Gucci inspired sweater vest look like. Right, thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. If you liked it, let me know down below by giving it a thumbs up, and also comment down below if you've got any video ideas for me to make or anything in particular you want to see besides my flat, maybe, because that video is coming for sure. Pinky promise. Also subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell to never ever miss an upload. If you're going to try this DIY for yourself, I'd love to see your results. Tag me on Instagram at dapperalien, and once you're over there, why not follow me as well, because when I'm not posting videos on YouTube, I'm quite active over there, so we can stay in touch that way. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye. What was that?